an Indian vlogger went to Russia to meet a World War II veteran who told how German soldiers used to put Russian babies under tank tracks. Why is this not talked about? Instead, all the focus is on atrocities in Berlin by Soviets. Look, war is pure horror. War is horrible. If you're a soldier, your job is to kill, right? And once you start killing, you will see everyone as the enemy who are on the other side. I'm not trying to justify anything, by the way. I'm just saying that for many people, eventually the boundaries will blur. They should not blur. As a soldier, as a person, you have to be disciplined, you have to be professional. But as we know, all wars eventually lead to atrocities. I mean, look at what the Americans did in Iraq, Abu Ghraib and whatnot. Look at what the Canadians as UN peacekeepers did in Somalia. I mean, wars always lead to atrocities. The longer a war lasts, the more atrocities there are. Yeah, in the modern era. And we know that the Russians suffered a lot at the hands of the Nazi invaders. No question about that. Yeah. So my point is, our coverage of history has to be balanced. It cannot. The problem is that, you know, like Napoleon said, history is a bunch of lies written by is a set of lies agreed upon. And the objective of writing history is to distort what happened and to serve political and other agendas. Sometimes the purpose is to justify an invasion. Sometimes the purpose is to justify the occupation and brutalization of a country. That's what the Europeans have done with India. They have sought to justify their occupation of India for 2.5 centuries, the British, by claiming that Indians had a horrible culture and they had to be civilized. Right? Caste and sati and whatnot. They've invented all these things, all these stories. And they actually imposed the caste system upon India, that fold caste system, which we still continue today. So the right way to do history is to just put all the facts out there. But history has become a tool of propaganda, and that's why we have these issues. So why is this not talked about? Because one side won and another side lost. And that's why the winning side, which was the side that won? It's not about who won the Second World War. The Soviets defeated the Germans in the Second World War, right? And yet, the Nazi atrocities against the Russians are not that spoken about, even though the Soviets won. Because afterwards, the Soviets lost the Cold War. And that's why the Western narrative is the predominant narrative today, even though the Soviets did win the Second World War. So that's why today we have a certain set of narratives out there. And ideally, it should not be like that. But we live in the real world.